Joa and Conny. Not a lot of people may notice that they even exist, since Gensho is all the hype in this update. These pair are highly slept on. They can do lots of damage, can attack from a pretty far range, and that's pretty much it. To break it down simply, they're a full-fledged on attacker. So, if you guys want to know what the talent's all about, it's very short and simple. Their attack and crit rate are increased by a certain amount depending on the star level. Then at the start of the battle, Conny summons a clone of Joa, basically a summon, that copies a certain percent of Conny's stats. And that too will also increase when you start him up. Attack increase is always really nice. That crit rate increase is going to be really useful. Joa as a summon, similar to Lucretia's puppet, although he is more different. He's more offensive based and is pretty self-dependent. The class mastery stones, it's the usual stuff: armor, defense, headwear, magic defense, and weapon accessory. You want skill on the third slot. However, the arena stones, you want something like mine, or maybe instead you can opt in for crit damage instead of more crit, or just do a full-on offensive set. Her soldier choice are really important. Sorcerers, you guys know, they're really strong. The fairy one as well, that takes less reflect damage. These two will be your go-to soldiers for her, because then her movement will be considered flying. As long as Conny's class is the machinist commander and not the technologist. Now to clear it up, these two always had the movement flying. I guess it's hard to notice that these days because of Lucretia and Lolly Jessica, who are more common and are boots on the ground. So I can understand that it's easy to forget it. For the weapon you want, the extreme magic bow, Crystal Stinger could be another option for more crit. Another alternative I would maybe say is the Allura's bow, if the first two I mentioned you don't have it. Her best armor to use is the Last Rites, no doubt. The Azure Legend is the second option you would use. Other than that, something else like the Demon Lizard skin will be a good alternative choice. The best helmet to use for her is the Warrior's Crown or the flower one. Then for the accessory, there's a lot of variety that you can choose from. Judge, Slayer's Prisoners are great offensively to do more damage against a specific class type. The Winged Shin Guard is not bad as well to better help survive against physical attacks when you're the one being attacked. The best chance to use for her, Clock for the skill spam, Full Moon, Breeze, and maybe even Blazing Sun. Since she has increased crit, so that means with this, she can do more crit damage. Alright, so now that you guys have an idea on how to build Joa and Conny, let's dive right into their first awakening stage. Alright, so for the stage, you're gonna be up against Gustav, the one doing Duelist, and then Girl in the Shell. For the skills that you want, this one right here, 100%, you can attack from 4 blocks only in a straight line though. Roundabout, so that you can attack and move back. And then the third one, it's really up to you. Although if you're struggling with this, I would recommend this one, so that if you survive, you can heal, and also for that crit bonus. Attack rate can be nice as well, so that you lower their offensive capability. The soldiers I would recommend are the Fairy Spirit Prophet and the Sorcerers. It just makes moving around much more easier. And then the Demon Hunter, so that you lower their mobility, which can make getting away much more easier. I find doing Conny's first awakening stage stupid easy because you can easily get away attacking them and then moving away. I'm just gonna have Joa move up and use a skill, and with that skill what it does is that as long as he's at 100% HP, he cannot be targeted, while also applying some debuffs, which is very good. So attacking Gustav should be no big deal. Gonna one-shot right here, attack safely from 4 blocks. The winning duelist, you should most definitely one-shot her, but I'm gonna test right here to see if Joa can one-shot her. I'm just gonna normal attack. I don't think he's gonna. That damage was sad. I thought he would do a lot more. Maybe if he used a skill, but I would say it would only take out all of his soldiers at best. And then we got Girl in a Shell here. So with the talent, she can attack from pretty far away, which is pretty scary. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have Conny just use her other skill right here. I don't want her to attack yet. And so with the increased crit rate for Joa, he should be able to do a little bit damage as long as he crit. And I'm just gonna have him attack. It's fine if he gets one-shotted. I just wanted him to be able to weaken Girl in the Shell, so that she can't do as much damage. And then I'm gonna have Conny attack. We won't be able to outrange Girl in the Shell, but she won't be much of an issue since Joa was able to weaken her. So yeah, the first two, you can definitely outrange them. Just be sure when you're up against Girl in the Shell, that's when you should be ready and take some hits. Alright, finally, on to the 3C. It attacks from 5 straight lines that has a 4-turn cooldown. After using this, the unit's range is decreased by 1 for 1 turn, while also dispelling 2 buffs from the target. And if Joa is in range of the 3C, the skill range will increase even more by 3 blocks wide and 5 blocks long. So yeah, a really short 3C this time. Not a lot of text like we've been getting from the other previous characters. I will admit and say that it's nice seeing a unique debuff that you don't really see often. The only one I can really think of on top of my head is Silveria. She's the only one that I know that can the debuff to lower the enemy's range. But that range is going to be really huge. I'm telling you guys, once we do the showcase, you guys are going to see how amazingly stupid it is. That range is scary and dumb. And their animation, I really like it a lot. I'll go ahead and show it to you guys right now. Yeah, really nice. The second awakening stage, I don't think it's really that hard. You get to use some pretty good characters, so I don't think it should be that bad. I've always said this before and I'll say it again, just in case there are new people watching this. I only ever show off the second awakening stage if they are really hard and tricky. Plus the characters that you get to use are really reliable to use and are able to carry you. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and get right on to the showcase. So Connie's skills, they're pretty easy to understand. Her 1C gives her reinforcement and increases her crit rate by 20% for 2 turns. And what it doesn't tell you is that it even affects Joa as well. So I'm gonna move it right here real quick, and then when I press it, you can see that it affects her and Joa. And as I use it, has some pretty neat sound effect. And yeah, right here, increases crit rate and reinforcement. Same thing applies for Conny. Her other unique 2C skill is really good, mainly because of the 4 block range. Only in a straight line though, that's the only thing that really sucks about it. But hey, at least it can reach far. And it also inflicts silence too. So in a way, I guess you could say that it's like a better version of the snipe skill. Quickly moving on to 3C, this is what the range would normally look like, just reaches 5 blocks long. And with Joa in range, this is what the range will look like. So he's able to extend it by 3 blocks wide and 5 blocks long. The only real issue is that the skill has to reach Joa, so you're better off keeping him alive if you want to make better use of this skill. Plus, Joa is pretty dependable, just putting that out there. And by launching this 3C, so yeah, that was pretty insane, and it looked like it dispelled some buffs as well, as what the skill should be doing. And with the debuff right here, oh, it's a unique debuff. I think with the Silveria debuff, it's different. I'm not sure how it looked like, but for sure, it did not look like this. And regarding to Joa, this guy is pretty dependable. This guy is actually really good at what he does. He has his own talent, he's able to move past enemies, and has the terrain master ability. When he actively enters battle, his damage taken is decreased by 80%, and when Conny dies, he too will die himself on the next turn. I kinda wish that wasn't the case. I wish that you can still keep him alive regardless if Conny dies. So I'm actually gonna test out the damage reduction, and also while I'm at it, the skill that he has is pretty much the same thing as Connie's long range skill. It reaches 4 blocks long but doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but you are able to lower their mobility by 2 and make them unable to guard, all for 2 turns. So hopefully Joa doesn't die right here. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Yeah, he didn't take that much damage. I think he took like 20% damage right there. So yeah, you're safe to attack with him as long as he's the one attacking. The passive right there, I totally forgot that it took place right there. It's one of Joa's passive. As long as Conny and Joa attack within a 3 blocks range of each other, they will do fixed damage, which is pretty nice. Then for Joa's last skill, this is the one that's going to be helping him a lot. Since he can die pretty fast, as long as he's at 100% HP, he cannot be targeted by the enemy's normal attack and skill. So this thing is a buff that where after he takes action, he applies 2 random debuffs to enemies within a 3 block range, all for 2 turns. So by activating this, it should make him pretty much invisible and then apply some debuff right there. And right there, the Aniki ignored him. So yeah, this is going to be Joa's best skill to use. If you can keep him to 100% HP, then this guy won't be dying. Then you can strategically start placing him around. So yeah, I really like what they did with Joa. His kit is really good, makes him one of the best offensive summons. So overall, Joa and Conny are built to be a pure damage dealer, and nothing more than that. Pretty standard stuff. What helps their damage even more is the crit increase. Stack that with their 1C support skill, and you have a good chance of hitting those. Her long range skill is really amazing. It really complements her really well. If you want to bring that other AoE skill with her, that can be fine if you want him to be a AoE attacker. If you're gonna do that, don't bring the roundabout skill, just bring her unique fluency skill and you'll be pretty good. Since the roundabout skill only takes effect when you enter battle. Only really bring that passive skill if you're gonna use her long range skill. Her 3C is the scariest part in her kit. Long range providing a unique debuff that would be really annoying, and if Joa's in range of that, then it goes even further. And I'm serious when I say that Joa is not useless. This guy is pretty reliable, more on the offensive side. One thing that really makes him stand out, and what I really like the most about him, is the fact that he has Terrain Master, and can move through enemies. So moving around with him won't be an issue, and he won't be targeted if he ever used that skill, as long as he's at 100% HP. His other skill is a great way to cripple tanks, so use that to make them unable to guard and then have Conny move in and snipe someone out. So yeah, they're pretty good. They're going to be doing some good damage attacking from afar. The only thing I will say though is that I wish one more attack combo or two maybe, similar with their 3C but maybe a little bit different. I think they're totally fine with the way they are right now, but I just think that it would have been more cooler if they were able to do a little bit more than that. There we go. That was Joa and Conny's showcase. I think they're such a really underrated character. If you're looking for a solid damage dealer, they can be nice to use, or if you just want them for the collection, or if you generally just want them, I don't think they're bad to use. If you get her banner mate Grenchill, and if you're able to unlock her 3C so that she can faction buff, they can work well together as a team. But it's totally fine if you want to skip them. Grenchill will definitely be worth your investment since she can do a lot more than just attacking. But if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Joa and Conny, or if there's anything that I missed on them. And yeah, thanks for watching. Your fellow Z.